Oddly enough, there are still enough places on our planet that can rightfully be called forbidden for mere mortals. And many of these places hold secrets that may never be fully revealed. So, the 5 most forbidden places on the planet. Practically nothing is known about this object, and it is impossible for an ordinary person to get there. And therefore, the Scientology Vault is rightfully considered one of the most forbidden objects on the planet. The Church of Scientology is a radical church that literally describes the interaction of the human spirit with the universe. This church built a mysterious structure in New Mexico at a depth of many hundreds of meters, where documents of particular importance to Scientologists are likely stored. According to anonymous witnesses who have been there, the underground structure is protected by 2 giant doors, which weigh several tons. It is believed that the walls of the structure are 1.5 kilometers thick, and it will withstand the explosion of a hydrogen bomb. Not so long ago, photographs of this object were taken. In particular, 2 intersecting circles are visible on them. It is known that each of the circles with a diamond inside is considered a special sign of the Church of Scientology, and next to it there is a building in which, as can be judged, no one lives. This building is probably the entrance to the vault. One of the followers of the doctrine stated that the storage was built in 1980 and it cost millions of dollars. As we managed to find out, behind the 3 blocks of the building in the rock there are tunnels, hundreds of meters deep, and underground in titanium boxes are kept gold discs with the words of the founder of the teachings of Ron Hubbard carved on them. These discs are the main value of Scientologists. It is also believed that only representatives of the top of the church can get into the vault. But all these data have not been officially confirmed. However, entering there and finding out everything yourself will still not work. In any case, Scientologists themselves believe in this connection. And the next secret object is located in Russia. According to many independent researchers, it contains, among other things, artifacts that prove that we are not alone in the universe. This is the Kapustin Yar military training ground. In 1946, in the northwestern part of the Astrakhan region, a huge piece of land was allocated to the Soviet military for missile testing. The developments were the newest. And it is not at all surprising that from the first years of the object's existence it was surrounded by an aura of secrecy, and it was guarded according to the first category. But what do we have in fact? The landfill is completely closed to ordinary people. And even for military personnel, a special pass is required. Officially, this is explained by the special meaning of the object. 11 nuclear explosions have been carried out on the territory of the test site since 1950. And in 1979, the construction of Bunker 754 began, which lasted 10 years. Officially, it was built as a test site for prototypes of missile warheads. But even according to official figures, the size of the bunker is impressive. Its depth is up to 50 meters, and road and rail corridors lead underground. But what is actually the real size of the object is unknown. On the surface, it looks like a low hill with vertical ventilation pipes. It's clear that it's not something to go down. You won't even be able to approach this object. According to researchers ufologists, this bunker has become the main Soviet repository of classified materials. Well, the most interesting information was obtained in the early 1990s. In the last months of the existence of the USSR, many secret archives have ceased to be secret. And the All-Union Ufological Association made a request to the State Security Committee. Ufologists took this opportunity to ask for information about how true the rumors about UFO-related artifacts that are stored at the test site. Surprisingly, the representatives of the KGB, to whom the ufologists contacted, did not just answer, but sent a so-called blue packet. This package contained all the data on the artifacts stored at the landfill. For example, the bunker contains as many as 5 trophy UFOs and even an ancient UFO, which was dug up in October 1981 in Kazakhstan, and much more. But the ufologists did not manage to visit the landfill in the legendary bunker, and the government declared the information from the blue package to be a fake. But even if we do not take into account the opinion of ufologists, Kapustin Yar still remains one of the most closed and secret places on the planet. Vatican Secret Archives. This is undoubtedly one of the most mysterious and forbidden places on Earth. These archives are an endless maze of corridors that are hidden under the courtyard of Pigna in the Vatican Museum and are accessible only to a select circle of people. Imagine 85 kilometers of floor-to-ceiling shelves that are literally crammed with historical documents. The archive supposedly contains tens of thousands of church documents dating back to the 8th century, as well as the most unique historical documents, books and tomes. But what is the problem? Limited access to the archives was opened already in 1881, but even here everything is not so simple. Access is granted with the personal permission of the Pope and is granted only to the most distinguished, usually Catholic scholars, who can at the same time confirm their professional degree and the importance of research. Moreover, you cannot view any documents. An approved scientist must specifically request a document by author and title. In other words, if you somehow once you have gained access to the Vatican archives, you must know exactly what you are looking for in order to obtain permission to read this document. And because of this secrecy that surrounds the archives, there is no real evidence that the Vatican is not cunning and does not hide objectionable materials from scientists. You can't just take and examine the archive. There are quite reasonable assumptions that ancient texts and testimonies can be found in the archives that can refute the official church history. And the next object is perhaps the most secret that really exists today. It is located in the center of the Nevada desert. There is a complex of facilities belonging to the US Air Force. And all over the world this object is known as Zone 51. For a long time, officials did not give any comments about this famous place. And only in 2013, the existence of a special zone in those places was officially recognized, but they said that they were just testing new weapons systems, but not everything is so simple. It is almost impossible to get into Area 51 unnoticed. Anyone who approaches the zone less than 40 kilometers will be stopped by the military, fined $600 and sent back. And if you try to get there bypassing roads and checkpoints, then most likely you have also failed. There are many camouflaged security cameras and motion detectors on the approaches, and at night unmarked helicopters patrol the territory with the help of searchlights. Yes, and hide from the military in the desert surroundings zones are practically nowhere. But unlike other secret objects of the American military, special attention of ufologists is riveted to this zone. And this is primarily due to the numerous observations of the most incredible unidentified flying objects, which were seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people. And since the famous disaster in Roswell, so many incomprehensible things have happened in Area 51 that not a single book has already been written about them, and more than a dozen investigations have been carried out. To summarize, it is in this secret zone, according to many ufologists and scientists, that there are, among other things, the wreckage of crashed alien aircraft. In addition, research and testing of ultra-modern aircraft using alien technology is carried out here. To some extent, this is also confirmed by the official military. Of course, we are not talking about aliens, but only about the fact that super-modern weapons and aircraft are really being tested in Zone 51. Another thing is that to declassify these technologies, for obvious reasons, the military cannot, and they are not going to explain every UFO sighting. And those people who, according to them, allegedly worked in Zone 51 and saw, including alien developments and even aliens, are called hoaxers and crazy by the military. And expeditions to the next island have been banned for almost a century. If anyone visits this island, it is only illegal. This is the famous Snake Island located off the coast of the Brazilian state of Sao Paulo, which is considered the most dangerous island on Earth. The bottom line is that this small island is literally teeming with deadly poisonous snakes. On average, according to the most conservative estimates, for every square meter of the island there are 2 or 3 snakes from half a meter in length. And the poison of the local inhabitants is so poisonous that it is simply impossible for a person to survive on the island. And it is not at all surprising that only the most venomous snakes survived on the island. Migratory birds became the only source of food for snakes. Snakes have to climb to the very tops of trees to catch their prey. And if not for the potent poison, most of the birds would simply fly away. The only thing that reminds of the presence of people on the island is the local lighthouse, which was built at the beginning of the 20th century. To watch the lighthouse on the island, the caretaker settled with his family. But at some point, the lighthouse stopped sending signals and a military vessel was sent to the island to find out the reasons. The sailors found lifeless bodies of family members near the salt, and the lighthouse was filled with thousands of snakes. The lighthouse was made automatic, and it is believed that, since then, the island has become completely uninhabited. Having banned access to the most dangerous island on the planet, the Brazilian authorities still make good money on it. After all, the Snake Island has become very popular among tourists. Of course, they are not allowed on the island itself, but the guides bring tourists by boat to the closest safe distance from the rocky coast, where people observe huge clubs of snakes playing in the sun, which literally cover the coastal stones. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, not to miss many new interesting videos.